But I was listening to a few people on YouTube, and two of them seem to agree on something that I'll be going over in this video. Primarily, they're talking about when Pluto enters Aquarius, so we will be looking at that because they say that will be the major overthrow of a system that has kept the melanated people either subjected as slaves or despised as lower class citizens. But they claim that'll change. Um, so the first thing I want to do is that's when Pluto enters Aquarius. So the first thing I want to do is take a look at Pluto in Capricorn, which is pretty much what's going on now. And of course the Capricorn is the goat. I'll probably keep this picture. So they claim Pluto entered Capricorn and 2018. Now what's unique about that is that 14-year-old girl that R. Kelly was sexually abused and urinated on. That was 2008. And they got her to change her testimony, and that's one of the reasons why the investigators let him go. But now they're retrying him on different charges, and that same female, who is now a woman, has recently said now she wants to testify. So that's going to make it even rougher for him. Now you got to remember, we're talking about Pluto, and whenever you're talking about Pluto, you're talking about the underworld, and that's Pluto rules Scorpio, and that can be a highly, sexual location. But that house, that underworld, is a lot of stuff. You would have to know what the eighth house is in astrology, and you can just look that up online. Now, some things we know, some it's just so much knowledge, and these devils that gave us his story, they did an excellent job. So they lie so much that it's really hard to stay focused. But RFG Chosen One was saying how Scorpio is really the phoenix. And I know for a fact the supernatural realm has been showing me the phoenix over and over again. And there's even a female wrestler in Malaysia that calls herself Phoenix, and she actually wears the hijabs of the Arabian. But there's a reason for everything. But I still want to just do Pluto and Capricorn, since that allegedly started in 2008 and will be ending soon. Remember, Capricorn will be the 10th house, Aquarius will be the 11th house. And again, like I said, we have to make sure we're going by real astrology. Because if you've been listening to my channel, I just showed you how what they're saying is not what the space is saying. And I showed you the charts. So you're dealing with he lies about everything. This beast lies about everything. See, and what I also try to tell y'all is a lot of stuff you're seeing on your TV streams is still these secret societies and Freemasonry. Because I find that kind of convenient that in 2008, this is where it is. Like all of a sudden, they're really going in on pedophilia. But we are aware this has been going on forever. Now, all of a sudden, now it's a big deal. So you have to understand you're dealing with people that have taken oaths and secret societies and all kind of stuff. And even a lot of stuff you see is still his story. Like I said, you're dealing with people that lie about everything. And just because it's got a black face on it, these people they're in their secret societies. Just want to put that out there. I'm not gonna waste too much time. The reason why, because nobody believes it anyway. But that's for people to really study and look the information up. Then. So they say when Pluto enters Capricorn, it causes drastic changes in social structures, real estate, and huge constructions. Because Capricorn is about agriculture. Now remember, Saturn rules Capricorn. And this did happen because if I'm not mistaken, 2008 was when George Bush came out and said, okay, we're in a recession. And all kind of crazy stuff started going on with the money and the banking systems and the industries. And especially once Barack Obama took over. Because they started regulating stuff, banks and everything started shutting things down. And they said this will last for 15 years. Because that's 15 years, because then that's when, around 2023, that's when that's when Pluto was going to enter Aquarius. And they're saying this is the real rise up of the melanated people, the real people of God. Now, because the Bible told you these people of God will go into captivity for a certain period of time. So what I'm trying to tell people, like I said, oh, you said 400 years in 2019. Well, it's still, we became awake around that time. It's still true. Now, whether it's a literal exile or whatever, it doesn't. We still became awake around 2019 when all this stuff started making sense through people that have been working out here hard, not just me, or I've chosen one. And there's another person named, give me one moment, Higher Realm Holistic. Her name is Veronica. Higher Realm Holistic. She tells you a lot of stuff too. She's real good as well. Also, I tall, I money. I tall, I man. These are people that are really, really telling you the truth. All right. So I mean, even now, with ATM machines, you can almost do your own banking. You never have to talk to a teller usually, and you can do your own banking. So I find that the finances run smoother because you don't have a whole bunch of mistakes, nor do you have somebody telling you, "Oh, no, we're going to make you wait 2 days before we clear your check," and all this crazy stuff. All these rules that they put on to make your life a living hell. So again, I can see that. I can see God's hand in that. So Pluto causes metamorphoses or transformations, drastic and unforeseen changes with a long-lasting effect. In Capricorn, these changes deal with established orders, organizations, and structure, and on a concrete level, buildings of any kind. So you might have known since 2008 to now, or even after now, because this is going to go all the way to 2023, but it might have been structures or buildings that they changed or came down. I can't think of any at the moment, but I'm sure there were some. So they say, well, this is like the Phoenix too, because they say what they do, they destroy the old, but then they reconstruct the new right on the ruins. And like I said, definitely that house up the street that burned down on New Year's, whatever day that was, they definitely did rebuild that back up. I definitely saw that. So they say in from 2000 to 2008, and I'm pretty sure that was probably was that all George? Was that all George Bush? I don't remember. Might have been. See, even the presidency. That's how you know they kind of know what they're doing, because even the presidency is at the same time as all this other stuff going on. Because these people knew what they were doing. You might not like it, but all this was prophecy. That's why I keep trying to tell you on YouTube, you have people running their mouth and they have a big following. And some of the stuff they say may be true, but a lot of stuff they say ain't true. but everybody just listens to them. But a lot of them don't know what they're talking about. Whether you like it or not, Freemasonry is still a spiritual science. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm saying it's never been a moment God has not been in control, even when it looks like he wasn't. So you want people to, you have people that they want everything to make sense to them. Otherwise, they're not going to believe it. But the real world don't work that way. So from 2002 to 2008, Pluto passed through Sagittarius and caused a number of revolutions and revolts against the established powers. Now, when Pluto passes through Capricorn from 2008 to 2023, all the revolts caused by Pluto in Sagittarius will result in new formations, abstract as well as concrete formations. They say the outcome is constructive, but the way to this is shocking, sometimes shockingly destructive. And that's why I'm trying to tell you again, like they got all this stuff figured out. They know what buildings is coming down, what stuff is blowing up. I could show you all documents where they knew the towers were coming down before they were ever built. They knew them towers were coming down like in the 1700s. If you ever were to study your history, the real history, you will find out that it was certain people that started coming over here from Europe. Europe. Right now, you could type in your search engine Charles Taze Russell, but it was a whole bunch of people that came over around that time that said late 1700s, 1800s that looked just like him. So I know they were probably all family and related. And it's a lot of people that are connected to the Germans and stuff. And these are people that were in both World War One and World War Two. So this is stuff you need to look up, but like I said, nobody really cares and nobody's gonna look it up. So you can have somebody just on YouTube talking crazy and everybody believing the person and not looking at any type of facts. So I'm trying to tell you, all these people knew. They already knew what was gonna happen. I mean, the ones at top level. And this is like I said, when you talk about Aleister Crowley and all that, even the people that Hitler was studying, the something the something society, the office something society, these were high spirit scientists, and they knew this stuff. But God was always in control of it, because God, He told you, I rule the darkness, I rule the night, I rule the good, I rule the evil. So that's Isaiah 45:6-7, and that's why they gave you the Book of Job, because you actually see Him doing that. So destruction of the old, construction of the new on those ruins. Pluto entered Capricorn on January 26, 2008 at 2:50 a.m. GMT. I believe that's Universal Time, I believe. Greenwich time. Yep. Greenwich Mean Time. So Pluto will stay in Capricorn until March 2023. It will enter Aquarius on March 23rd, 2023. Even that's interesting because you keep seeing that 23. And remember, 23 is the number of Sirius. And Sirius is really one of the main connections of these melanated people, because that's why the Egyptians connect you back to, like those pyramids connect you back to Orion and Syria. Syria is Isis. Orion is Osiris. So if you want to do world time, like usually when you do a chart, you're trying to use time, but when you want world time, you use the Greenwich, Greenwich, mean time, GMT. So at that time, Pluto was in the second house of the economy, and you saw what happened around that time. But like I said, it was around 2008. I don't remember if it was the beginning of the year when they started doing it, but they was letting you know we having trouble with money, we're in a recession, and they was preaching it. Now whether it was really true or not, it didn't matter. Just like 9/11. Now we know that was an inside job. Well, people that study know that was an inside job, but they still gonna carry it out. Because like I'm trying to tell you, they're working off of spirit science, and they're gonna do what they were told. It's a lady. I got certain words I can't say, but she's one of the people that investigated one of those planes that came down like in Philly, and even she said it. She says that she's an investigator, but she was a Christian, and she said when they got to that ruin, they noticed. She said you could see like angels standing around, not to every, but she could see them, and they were like guarding the area, like to make sure certain people didn't go in certain locations. And she said that she couldn't understand it, but somehow that plane had submerged underground, like it was under. It had landed, but it was under the ground, like they were hiding it, like they didn't want nobody to investigate that plane. And she said you could see angels actually blocking, like making sure nobody went anywhere or got pictures or whatever. But if you think about it, I don't think you've ever really seen any really. You haven't seen too many pictures of that plane a lot allegedly landed in Philadelphia. And if you did, you probably saw like a wing or something, but you didn't see the whole plane that came down. So there's a reason for that. So that's what they said. They said that around 2008 they had credit crises, banking crises, and like I said, you got to remember that's about when Barack Obama took over right after because he was in office from 2008 to 2012, 2012 to 2016, and then I guess Trump started ruling about 2017. And he said at that time Jupiter and Venus were in the same house, but they were right next to Pluto. He's saying. Now, just so you know, even myastrologybook.com tells you that Pluto is the planet of black people. So in Revelation chapter 9, when they're talking about the bottomless pit, they're talking about the Scorpio constellation, because Pluto rules Scorpio, but Scorpio is the underworld. But Scorpio is also the divine womb. So they didn't just they didn't just change the Scorpio to the Phoenix. They didn't just change the Phoenix to the Scorpio to hide the fact of who we are. they were showing you the metaphysics. Because that's like when a woman took over, and like that's why a lot of people tell you that the woman is evil and stuff like that. But no, that was still God. That's all I can tell you. That was still God. And that's why when you study those the holy books like the Gnostics, you know that she's in a cave with Jesus. Like in the book of in the book of Matthew in the Gnostics, she's in a cage with Jesus when all these evil dragons and serpents come in, and the people are mad because they say, well, these are wicked animals and stuff. But Jesus still jumped off his mother's lap and walked up to all these evil animals and started petting them, and they were all worshiping him because he still created everything. So that's why when you read your Bible, Isaiah 45:6 and 7, I create the darkness, I create the light, I create the good, I create the evil. That's why the more you understand Scripture, even when you look at the ancient people in Asia, they learn that you can't say what's good or evil because all things come from God. So you learn how to do what you're supposed to be doing, which is actually being humble, praying, worshiping, and being thankful for each day. But most people are not going to do that. They're going to want more, and they're going to get mad. And then once you want more, you're not going to listen to spiritual facts because you're going to think that's foolish talk. And that's the way it is. No, you can't make a long conversation about it because no matter what you're talking about, people ain't going to believe it. They're going to believe whatever benefits them for the most part. So now they're talking about February 2012, 7 years ago. He said a major burst of the world's economy. I really don't remember. I don't think did our economy ever really get better after 2008. I don't really think so. Because to me it looked like the politicians were deliberately manipulating the economy and stuff. Plus they were selling all our jobs overseas and all that stuff. So I don't think the economy ever got better. I could be wrong, but I don't think the economy got better after 2008. And they say real estate is also another aspect of Capricorn. But you definitely did see a whole lot of financial structures go down and get investigated or change from 2008 onward. So now they go financial astrology, U.S. credit crisis horoscope, stock market astrology, Pluto and Capricorn, turmoil and finance, Saturn, the effect on finance. Saturn, its effect on finance. The .com stock decline, NASDAQ stock exchange horoscope. All right, so that seems to be the end of that. So that was a good little history lesson, but he wasn't really accurate on some of the stuff he said. Because I just want to see how accurate that was. But we have some other things I'll be looking at. All right, give me a moment. I have to look at something. All right, so now we're going to be looking at Pluto in Scorpio. I'm sorry, Pluto in Aquarius. A few websites that are dealing with that. All right, now just so everybody knows, once again, I didn't say it, but myastrologybook.com says that Pluto is the planet of black people. So these will be the people that are God's chosen people in the Bible, the melanated people, and the prophecies about them. They will be the final people on the so-called last day when everything rises back up and their enemies are all destroyed. Now, Sherry Shriner also said that Lilith is the mother of any of these people. She didn't use the word melanated, but basically those people. And they also call these people like the 1040 people as well. And you can look that up if you don't know what 1040 is and all that. Now, the number 22, like if you study, like if you go to astrotheme.com and you look up 22 degrees, it's going to have a negative connotation. So anything that had to do with the real people of God, and a lot of times they are connected back to Egypt, but I don't think it's just Egypt, but and they are the real people of God, and these were angelic people. And that's why when people say God DNA or 666, proton, six neutron, 6 electron, and they say carbon melanin, like Mount Carmel, that's carbon melanin. These are God's people. So anything that's the truth, the evil people change it. And see, 22 is actually a number of those people, so they tell you that 22 is a bad number. That's what the astral theme says. Bad number. And then they make Lilith out to be bad as well. And that's why you have to watch what you say, because a lot of times you're actually cursing yourself. Even words you're using and stuff like that, you're actually cursing yourself. These are some very wicked ass people. And like I said, they were inspired by devils and demons. And all that magic and everything they've been using against us is starting not to work. And even Nania said that would happen. She calls it the garment and stuff like that. But I'm going to tell you again, it doesn't necessarily have to be cloaking. It doesn't necessarily have to be a garment. These are just wicked ass people, and their technology, their lies, all that stuff is going to stop. So now what we want to do is get Pluto and Aquarius. Now remember, Scorpio, ruled by Pluto, RFG Chosen One told you is a phoenix. But that's why when you look on the dollar bill, see, a lot of people don't know that the American eagle was originally the phoenix. Because they knew the people that had this country, George Washington, and everything RFG Chosen was talking about in his recent video about Pluto and Scorpio, I think he said, indigo children. He knew. That's why you see pictures of George Washington standing next to Moors and stuff like that. And you see they got on them aprons and stuff because they're master sciences. And it's not just geometry and all that stuff. This is also spirit science. And that's the same type of stuff Hitler was working on during World War II. Just like RFG Chosen One in his recent video showed you how the reason why they were putting dead pharaohs and embalming them and stuff, it has to do with the soul. But you see Hitler doing that because Hitler used to try to suck the soul out of people's bodies. And they used to try to store them in jars and stuff like that. So Hitler was into some weird ass shit. But he was really doing the same thing the Egyptians was doing, because they were doing some weird ass shit too. Manipulation of matter, manipulation of this. And this is why now you have anti-gravity devices and stuff. Okay, now this is supposed to be. This was supposed to be about Pluto entering Aquarius 2023. So I don't know why she's talking about this other stuff. I see her saying something about 2020. All right, so I don't know why she labeled it the way she did, but I don't have time to figure it out, so I close her box because I have to keep moving. So she's talking about click here for your free cosmic energy profile now, and it's based on your birth date and stuff like that. Okay, so we already did Pluto in Capricorn. I don't want to do that again. So she's talking about a lot, but I want to get to Pluto in Aquarius. She said, please leave a comment. Also, please sign up for my monthly newsletter on the left panel. Her name is Bree. Her website is spiritualdesignsastrology.com. Now, don't get me wrong. She really goes in. She does a lot of predictions on the world and stuff. But right now, I'm looking for a specific thing. I've been up all day. I'm extremely tired. And I just want an answer to this Pluto in Aquarius. Now, I was trying to send her an email. And once again, now this is some bullshit. Because normally I could just copy it and paste it, put it right in my email and send it right to her. Now this is on some bullshit. And I don't feel like typing it. But I'm probably going to have to type it anyway. Because it's not going to let me copy paste it. You're getting on my nerves, Bree. So I'm just typing her a quick letter. I was just asking her, does she have a YouTube, and could she give me that information? And now I'm going to close this. Because I'm looking for Pluto in Aquarius. Well, now let me see what they're talking about your ancient calendar. Now this took a, this said cosmic energy. Hidden prophecies finally revealed. What is the ancient calendar will reveal about your destiny, will surprise you. Discover your Mayan day sign and the clues it has for your future. Because I get mad because I think if I put my shit in here and then I want to see my report if I'm going to put this information in. I don't want no bullshit like we'll send it to you later or the bullshit. The games I'm not saying this particular website is playing games, but I've had some play games and I'm not in the mood. So now I don't think I want to do that. Sorry. So Bree has responded with an email. Some people have a return email. Like as soon as you email and they go, "Thank you, I will respond to your request shortly." So that was nice. So everybody talking about this was 2017 over there. Everybody was talking about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. And then all of a sudden out of nowhere, Donald Trump said he's not interested in it. Doesn't mean it won't happen or will happen, but I think a lot of people just jumping the gun on a lot of shit. Learn astrology, Pluto and Aquarius in your natal chart or horoscope. Yeah, but that's not what I asked you to do. See, they just trying to rip you off. Like every website I'm going to they're lying So I already don't respect you because like you're lying. I type something in the search engine, all this shit comes up, but nobody is answering what I ask them to answer, and that pisses me the fuck off because you're wasting my fucking time. I work in retail, and that's one thing my supervisor tells you: make sure you're listening. When these people come in and they're talking to you, make sure you're listening because they're telling you what they're looking for and shit. If you ain't paying attention, like they're not gonna respect you, right? Okay, so this website is explaining it. Pluto will be in the sign of Aquarius between the years of 2023 and 2043. So they're going to be there for 20 years. Pluto takes about 248 years to make a full transit of the astrological signs. Its time to pass through the sign. Its time to pass through the signs can vary from between 12 to 32 years as it has an unusual orbit. Yeah, and also RFG Chosen One told you the truth. That's the reason why they told you Pluto's not a planet. Because they're doing everything. They don't want you tapping back into your power. That's why I keep trying to tell these people. You know what I'm saying? That's why I stay steadfast. Because people try to play me out. But you can't play me out. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you're the best thing on the court. You know what I'm saying? They can lie. They can put 5 men on you. They can lie. But you can't change the facts. You know what I'm saying? I've been down with all this way before a lot of these people. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff coming out their mouth. I done been said that. And I tell you when I learn. Like when they're saying something I didn't know, I tell you that. But ain't nobody gonna play me out. You know what I'm saying? I'm still gonna be blessed. So all this silly stuff, I will be there at the top when all this shit go down. You best believe I'ma be in the VIP, nigga. So anything with Pluto has to do with the whole generation and not specifically an individual. So now they're giving you a history. They're giving you a history on Pluto in Aquarius, like our excuse me, like RFG Chosen One did. Now, just so y'all know which video I'm talking about. Oh, he just got a new video. The video I'm talking about right now, that everybody should check out if you haven't already. Pluto and Scorpio generations, the real indigo children. That one. And you also want to go to Higher Realm Holistics. That's Veronica. And check out NRV 18. Spot on for New York blackout. New NYC blackout. And also the full moon lunar eclipse entering the Golden Gates. So check those two out. Because this is where the creator is at. And this is what's going down. Because a lot of people be lying to you. And I always check out Ital Imani. Ital Iman. ITALIMAN. Also check out Shekmet. You can put in Shekmet Nibiru and she'll come up. SCHKMET. Because she's always kicking that knowledge. The real knowledge. Pluto was in the sign of Aquarius between the years of 1777 and 1799. So whenever you're dealing with Aquarius, you're dealing with groundbreaking ideas entering society. So during this period was the idea of freedom, and the rights of the individual were championed through the American and the French Revolution. These ideas were won through great hardship and conflict and loss of life. Because you got to fight for your right to be free. So often where Pluto passes through, change is made through struggle or violence, as the old ways of thinking are stripped away and removed. Pluto next passes through Aquarius between 2023 and 2043. The ideas of human rights will again come to the surface, and the global issue of human cooperation will be brought to the surface. See, some people are still saying like New World Order and stuff like that. But as you can see, it's a big shakeup. And I can tell you, the only thing that's really about to happen is this. God's about to liberate his people, and this world is going to go into fire, and we're going to go into a new heaven, new earth, because that's what the Phoenix is really about. Now, we just saw that these people are associated with the fire, the Phoenix. Because a lot of people think we're going to go on, it's just going to be like a new thing, but we still going to be on planet Earth, and it's going to be like, I don't think so. Not according to Scripture. But who knows? Plus, you got to, like I said, you got to make sure that this devil been lying forever. So you really don't know. He lies about everything. You don't even know if the time frame you have is the real time because he lies about everything. So he says when Pluto enters Aquarius, there's going to be breakthroughs in science. And the funny thing is, we're already, like the powers that be are already about at least 30 to 40 years ahead of us in technology. So hopefully, when Pluto breaks into Aquarius, we'll get that technology as well. Because like I said, if you watch Star Trek back in the 1960s, they had they had desktop computers already. So well, they didn't work. They were just a prop for the show. Yeah, but they got the prop from somebody, so it might not have worked on that set, but I'm sure they worked in wherever the military government was. All right. Now this is freehoroscope.com. I refer to them quite often. So they say Pluto enters Aquarius 2023 to 2024. Profound changes are likely to take place in new technologies and in the scientific world in general. Humanity will start a new technical basis, much more adapted to our world. Alright, so they're going over every zodiac sign for Pluto in Aquarius. So they say for Leo, it'll be brutal changes because the opposition of Pluto to the Sun, and the Sun is Leo's ruler, is quite destabilizing. It causes metamorphoses, profound changes that are sometimes brutal. You are at the foot of the wall, forced to act, forced to decide, forced to judge, forced to endorse. Radical adjustments in your relationships. You may feel lonely. Because you're being forced to decide. All right. This is astrology answers, well, astrology question and answers.com. Okay, once again, they say what I'm looking for, but then when I start reading it, it has nothing to do what I'm talking about, and that pisses me off. But ironically, they start talking about dark matter, and you know why this is important? Because that's what our RFG chosen one is talking about. That video I told you all to read is exactly what our RFG is talking about, and that's exactly what he said. He said around 20 to 24, we'll be getting back to dark energy and dark matter. He said we have to be able to use that. Because if that's what the Egyptians said, the Egyptians built the pyramids with this, and that's your 666 and all that. Even you hear Paul Bagley talk about dark matter and dark energy. And that's why Prophet Elijah is always associated with carbon, Mount Carmel. That's carbon melanin. And even in Mark 7:11, Mark chapter 7 verse 11, you hear Jesus say the gift of Korban. That's carbon melanin. And it's a gift because if you have carbon melanin, then you have the same essence of God. So they say Aries is the most revolutionary sign of the zodiac. So a trine is going to occur, and it's going to be Neptune, Pluto conjunction in Gemini, and that happened in 1892. See why I hate this planet so much? Because their history is alive, so they'll be telling you some bullshit. So something might have popped off in 1892, but they'll either act like it didn't happen, or they'll tell you, "Oh, that was with the British," and when it wasn't, it was with the people of color and shit. They lie about everything. So I applaud RFG Chosen One because he'd be teaching real history and shit. And there's going to be a Uranus Neptune conjunction, but that's not the 2165. So since the 1980s, we've been moving into an air-dominated era. And remember, the angels represent the air. So he keeps talking about this extremely large telescope in 2024, but we know that right now the Catholic Church owns the largest telescope on Earth so far. So he's saying the two profound changes in 2024 will usher in a radically different world from the one in which we baby boomers were born. Let's hope the upcoming generations make a more constructive job of it than we have done. You will have no choice because your time is up, devil. All this devil ass bullshit, lie about everything. Everything's a damn lie. All right, Wikipedia. So we're gonna get the Wikipedia definition of a baby boomer. It says they followed the silent generation and preceded Generation X. So baby boomers were anybody born from 1946, that's 1 year after World War II, and 1964. So in Western Europe and North America, baby boomers are widely associated with privilege, as many grew up during a period of increasing affluence, due in part to widespread post-war government subsidies in housing and education. As a group, baby boomers were wealthier, more active, and more physically fit than any preceding generation, and were the first to grow up, generally expecting the world to improve with time. This was a generation that reached peak levels of income in the workplace and could therefore enjoy the benefits of abundant food, clothing, retirement programs, and even midlife crisis products. But they also get criticized because they increased consumerism, and a lot of people thought that was excessive. But at least you know what a baby boomer is. All right. So the person who wrote that website pretty much agreed with RFT Chosen One, and they said the same thing he did about dark matter and dark energy. That was interesting, quite interesting, because that's us, nigga. We are the dark energy and the dark matter. And he also talks a lot about the phoenix, and that was something God brought to my attention because I made a video earlier yesterday because we're now into a different day. But earlier yesterday I did a video about the phoenix. I didn't know anything about RFG Chosen One, what he was talking about or nothing, but God showed me the same thing about the phoenix. But what the phoenix represents is us being reborn, and the phoenix is Scorpio because we have to go down and die, but then we're reborn and resurrected, and that's what Revelation 11 is talking about. So when you're reading about those two witnesses in Revelation 11, you're actually looking at these people, the people of God, that will go down in a dead-like state like Jesus did, but then they come back up. And the reason why Revelation 11 says make merry, because again, Mary represents the divine feminine, the divine woman, Mother Mary, the Black Madonna, or even these so-called, what some people call Moors or melanated people. They go down in death of white supremacy, but then they resurrect. And when they resurrect, it's time for their enemies to be destroyed. And that's what Revelation 11 tells you, but the entire Bible tells you that. And you see it again in Revelation chapter 25, verses 29 and 46, when Jesus says, you didn't do it to my brothers, and therefore I'm going to make you pay. And these his brothers are all melanated people, which the Bible calls Hebrews, or the 12 tribes that you see in Revelation 12. The woman with the 12 stars, that represents the biblical 12 tribes and stuff like that. And again, baby boomers, because you see that baby being born in Revelation chapter 12, which represents this new age or this new world of God's people having authority from God and their enemies being destroyed at the exact same moment that they're being liberated. That's why if you read Revelation 12, you see some angels going down, and at the exact same moment that these angels are being cast down, you see angels going up. And that is called the ladder of Jacob, Jacob's ladder in John chapter 1. Angels ascending and descending to the Son of Man. And then in the book of Genesis, when Abraham tried to sleep on that stone or that rock, he saw that ladder, angels ascending and descending. So that's what happens with angels coming down, going through white supremacy on earth, and then on that final day they go back up, just like John chapter 6 tells you. But on that final day the earth is burned in fire to begin a new heavens and a new earth, as 2 Peter chapter 3 verses 7-18 tell you. In other places in the Bible where it tells you that the last day will be a day of fire, the day of the Lord is a day of fire, a day of darkness, and on and on. And again, that darkness is these people, but it's also dark matter, going back to whatever God is, they become. 1 John 3, chapter 2. So that's what it is. So will the earth continue at that time with a new golden age of Pluto and Aquarius? It may, but I kind of tend to believe what it says. The phoenix goes down and rises back in fire. In fire. In fire. God is a consuming fire. Our God is a consuming fire. Deuteronomy 4:24. John 4:24. Angels are flames of fire. Psalms 104, 1-6. God is a spirit. You must worship him in spirit and truth. John 4:24. Angels are spirits. Psalms 104. Jesus says, in that world you will be as the angels. Matthew chapter 22. When you enter that world of God's presence is spirit, and you must become spirit. Flesh and blood cannot inherit that world. 1 Corinthians 15:50-54. So this is why I keep trying to tell people you have to be careful. Some people mean well, but they're not speaking from Scripture. Scripture says, Genesis chapter 15, verse 13-14, after 400 years, I shall liberate you. I shall deliver you. And then I'll take you out from those people. And then I'm going to judge those people that judged you. So again, this is a coming out and in the day of fire. It's not like it's going to be, oh, Pluto's in Aquarius, and now we got, 22 years or whatever of this on Earth. Why? Because like Bobby Hemmett told us, we already did that. We've already ruled on planet Earth. We've already ruled in Egypt. We've already ruled all over the place on Earth. So we don't plan on doing that again. We plan on going back up to the presence of God, where we come from. You will see angels ascending and descending to the Son of Man. So we're getting ready to go back up. Am I wrong? I don't think so. I'm just going by Scripture. But we'll see. This is Get. God bless.